Paul Brown said to me, son, act like you've been there before. And I'm thinking, wait a minute, I just barely got on the field. I hadn't been there before. So
I'm glad to be part of that trend. Suns out, guns out.
How about Isaac Curtis on one side, Charlie Joyner on the other side? A lot of quarterbacks were very envious that I had those two weapons to throw to, but
now wait a minute. Is it fair that Pat McInally is still the sexiest guy on our team? Is that
you got me there. You got me good.
Donald, how you gonna be in that video not represent with a chain? Your tango, man. I got mine on. I'm ready to go.
Oh, that's great. That's priceless.
There are two guys that I think it's a travesty that are not in that Hall of Fame.
Ken Riley and Ken Anderson. Yeah, sure.
Put the backdrop on, Jamey. See if Marissa's okay with it.
Yeah, I got her backdrop. Starting the Canadian fan club up here for you.
That is so funny.
My last touchdown, and that's what Joe Burrow's going to end up like if they don't start protecting his ass. It's going to be the next David Klingler. David Klingler.
There's no Spanish-speaking people here, very few. So we, fast forward, we go to the Super Bowl in Miami, and the word was the Bengals have two big Mexican offensive linemen. They don't know how to speak Spanish. So I got down there and started doing these interviews in Spanish, and they're like, "Wait, we heard you don't speak Spanish."
What's going on, fellas? What's going on? But I got on the plane one day in an all red Suge Knight suit. And boy, Joe Walters and the lineman, they destroyed me. I thought for sure I was so clean. I had some gaiters on, all red suit on. I was Suge Knight. They roasted me.
The head coach was the really the pain in the butt. The Jerry Glenn, he would thought he was. If you didn't know who he was, he walked out there like he owned his state. And I always say, if I could get a chance to hit him on the sideline, I would.
I'm tackling your ass, Pete. I'm shoestring low on you.
But I got to tell you, you would have been stepped on, son. You would have had cleats everywhere.
Well, I'm proud to be a Bengal. Yes, I'm proud to be a Bengal always been. And I got nothing from you guys.
Welcome, everybody, to the playoff edition of Talking Football with Bengal Jim and friends. What a Saturday it's going to be. Playoffs here at PBS, guys. So quick lineup tonight. 8:20, we have Keith Moeller, the Bengals house, I think, in Batavia that you guys have seen on social media. We got him coming on at 8:20. 8:30, we're going to do that duck race. We've got about 100 ducks, full-blown duck race tonight for the Boomer Esiason Cystic Fibrosis Foundation. Doing a duck race tonight about 8:30 and about 8:40-ish. We had a pre-tape an interview with Boomer Esiason. Outstanding stuff. I promise you will enjoy every second of that interview. You couldn't make it live, but we came home at lunch today, all of us in our work clothes, and went ahead and did that interview with Boomer today, and it was outstanding. You're going to love every minute of that interview today. So it was good stuff.
I'm wearing the same shirt. I don't know about you.
I know Tom's not wearing the same stuff he wore earlier today.
No, I didn't come home either. But
well, guys, let's just get right into it. Let's talk about Saturday, man. How exciting is this day going to be?
Been waiting for it, and the guys in the striped helmets certainly deserve it. They've fought for us. They've played their tails off all year. Ups, downs, adversity, growing pains, and here they are. So hopefully the plan from last weekend comes to fruition. A little bit of rest, gains a little bit of strength, and they can take care of the Raiders at home. And, the Raiders, a tip of the cap to them, they gone through a lot of adversity themselves this year, an incredible amount, including that last second game against the Chargers last week. And everybody forgets, despite the score, that was an awful close game. They played the Bengals very tough in Vegas. We didn't pull away till the last couple minutes, and we didn't. The offensive numbers, other than Joe Mixon, were not that incredible. So I look for a very close game, but a good game and a happy ending.
Yeah, you know what, Tom. That's interesting. You said that. I was there at that game, and you're right. They pulled away kind of late in that game, but I think this offense and this team's come a long way since early in the season when they played. If you remember, Joe Burrow didn't have the best game that day. I think he only threw for 140, 150 yards, but that was Joe Mixon's day. I think that offense has come a long way. They're way better now than they were when they played earlier this year. I like our chances, man. I'm not being arrogant in any way, shape, or form, but we got to take care of the ball. Key number one thing right there.
Take care of the ball. Keep number 9 safe. Don't turn the ball over. Tackle on defense. Cover the tight end. Don't let Derek Carr get into a rhythm and shut down their running game. And, I'm thrilled it's going to be cold. In fact, I don't think it's going to be cold enough. I'm hoping for maybe some sleet and ice rain and everything else.
Why is that, Tom?
Sleet and ice rain?
No, why do we want a cold game? Why do we want a cold game?
Derek Carr has never won a game under 38 degrees Fahrenheit. So, we can hopefully keep that trend going. So a lot of things to be optimistic about. And I know everybody will be hoping, praying, keeping an eye on and supporting our right tackle, Isaiah Prince, who question for you guys, are they going to give him some help? Is CJ going to be over there helping him, chip Max Crosby, or is, Joe Mixon going to be helping pick up that side of the line before he goes out on a pass pattern? So I think that's the matchup of the game while we have the ball.
Yeah.
It was exciting times here to be Bengals fans. Excited that the game is on Saturday, kicking off. What is it? Super Wild Card Weekend. It's not even just Wild Card Weekend anymore. Mm-hmm. It's Super Wild Card Weekend with the extra game home at PBS. And how fitting is it that we come back full circle and get that first win in however many years, too many, against the team that we had some bad luck against many moons ago. So Boomer has some good insight. We're going to talk about that later. Congrats to Jamar Chase on the record set up in Cleveland on Sunday. That was perfect. Get him in, get the record, get him on the sideline. I love the fact that Joe Burrow didn't make the trip. You guys alluded to the hard-fought game that Vegas had last weekend with the Chargers. What a dogfight that was. Went down to the final seconds of overtime. I think we're in good shape. Again, I like the idea of Zach resting some guys. We knew what we had in front of us. Have that home game and time to get that W and look forward to. Let's be honest, we've had some big tailgates thus far this year, and I think this one's going to be, as big and way bigger than our biggest one. So looking forward to it. Jamey, while you're isolated there in communist Ontario.
Yes, unfortunately, my president Vladimir Putin won't let me come over to the game this time around, so I will be there in spirit, texting you guys. Yeah, I'm obviously super excited. We've been waiting for this for a long time. I think we win this game. Obviously, I think the curse is over. Happy that the team is winning, but also who's winning this year. We've talked a lot about this throughout the season. The Bengals social media team, the Bengals marketing team. Did you guys see that hype video? Our boy Tony the Tiger is in that video as well, but we won't play it here because if you're a Bengals fan, you've already seen it probably numerous times. But if you haven't checked it out, check out any of the social media accounts with the Bengals. If that hype video doesn't get you ready for Saturday, doesn't give you goosebumps, then you're dead. I don't think you're alive if you watch that and don't get excited about Saturday.
So it's crazy. I think we get Quentin Spain back. We get a lot of guys that were on the COVID list back. To Tom's point, our right tackle might need a little help, but I think we're, knock on wood, let's stay away from the COVID, and we look like we're pretty healthy going into the game, as healthy as we can be. So I don't know, man.
It's going to be good.
Yep, pretty excited about it. So just real quick, we'll talk about the tailgate here real quick. It's just unbelievable the massive amount of people that we're getting messages from on social media that are asking where the tailgate is. So the tailgate, here's the location, southeast part of the stadium, literally, I don't know, what do we think, 50, 60 yards from the front door of the south end zone right there, guys.
Hop, skip, and a jump.
Yep, hop, skip, and a jump. The game's at, I think, 4:30, if I'm not mistaken. So the lots will open up.
The kick.
Yep, the lots will open up at 12:30 that day. We will be in there at about 10:30, 11, setting up. We'll be ready to go when those lots open and ready to go. We're working out food arrangements right now. Dell's working all the beer for us, and Craig, the Bengal Bombs, is getting ready for us. So we've got a lot of stuff going on right now, getting ready for the tailgate, our first big tailgate playoff tailgate, which is going to be a lot of fun. So, and it works quite simply, guys. There's a lot of people that haven't been. You just show up, guys. Show up and enjoy yourself. We just ask you to simply donate to offset some of our food costs and tailgate costs there, and you're more than welcome to be part of it. We got a lot of folks coming out. We got a lot of media coming down today. It looks like some Bengals front office people coming out. I think Marissa Confitelli might be sneaking down some Saturday. She knew Jamey wasn't going to be there, so she decided to come down, I think.
Starting to take this personally.
Sarah Lees from 107.1 or 700 WLW is going to be down there again with her husband and some family. We've got a lot of other folks showing up. I think we have some national folks coming down from NBC. There will be a ton of folks down there. It's going to be a lot of fun. James,
you never know who you're going to see at Bengal gyms. Celebrities just come in, come out. It's a place to be. Again,
best tailgate in the city.
Yeah, as you said,
best
Jimmy,
tailgate in the league.
Yes, sir.
There's a lot of new people there. The one thing you didn't mention, Jimmy, is Lottie. You do need a specific pass if you want to park there. So there's plenty of other parking arrangements to be had around PBS in Northern Kentucky, more downtown. But to walk into Lottie, no problem. But we have had some people asking about parking in there. You do need a specific pass to park in Lottie. So it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a lot of fun. Go ahead.
You mentioned some of the support from the Bengals front office and Marissa. Did you mention to anybody of your friends here on Bengal Gyms and Friends that the restraining order is now to the U.S. Canadian border?
Yeah, see, we got Marissa's burner account here commented, you should be taking this very personal.
And just for people that are asking too, obviously, like James said, to find a parking.
Oh, wrong way. You gotta put that
to find a parking pass in Lottie is almost impossible. So a lot of people will park on 2nd and 3rd Street and walk down to it.
We'll work on it, Jamey.
Yeah, obviously this show is not rehearsed, as we just proved with my point to Tom.
So the one thing, let's do this before we get any further. Let's give an update on donations. And obviously this Sunday we're going to have another donation and keep raising money, going to hit that goal of 50,000 hell or high water. And with that said, we promised a duck race tonight for those that donated. We have that trifecta of Boomer items. We're going to do that right before we do the Boomer interview. So stay tuned. As we've done on previous shows, you are going to be entered in that if you donated online. I think it's, 4,600, 4,700?
Yeah, 4,693, James, right now for the Boomer Size and Cystic Fibrosis, and kind of give everybody an update where we're going to continue the charity fundraising for Boomer Saturday. But this is where we're at right now annually.
Huge.
Just unfreaking believable, guys.
Huge.
Yeah, that's impressive. We will continue it. We also will have an autographed item that we will have Saturday at the tailgate. And those that donated a minimum of $25 or more thus far, you're already entered into the duck race tonight. And we'll announce the winner for the signed Boomer helmet, signed Boomer jersey, and signed Boomer football. Did I get those three correct, Jimmy?
Yep, you got it. You nailed it.
So that's the trifecta. So somebody will, right before we go to that Boomer interview, somebody will be the winner of that, and we'll have Tom announce the duck race. As you alluded to, Keith Muller will be coming up talking about that very cool project that he did with the Bengals house. And I think, you guys are there, Jimmy and Tom. It's I think the hype is building in Cincinnati. Correct me if I'm wrong on kind of the energy and the buzz around the city right now.
Tom, go ahead.
It is, and it's really great to see. After all these years, even during the good times, but just a complete sense of optimism. And I think that's a credit to the guys in that locker room, the character they have, the effort they give. It's such a great team to root for. And, and just about everybody's behind them. Yeah, the usual haters that are not going to change their stripes, so to speak. But no, it's been overwhelming. The media, especially TV, has been fantastic to them. Bakeries are selling Bengal helmet cookies or Bengal stripe cookies. It's fantastic. And it's, and a win this weekend isn't the ultimate destination. The ultimate destination is for Jimmy to keep his word and not go to the Super Bowl unless the Bengals are in it. So, with Sarah Elise evidently, but
Yeah.
it really is. It's going to be a fantastic week, and hopefully the Bengals will even make it better.
So that was Tom's take from the east side of Cincinnati. The west side, pretty much the same thing, guys. We're excited to sell over here on the west side as well. So we
got
fun
turf wars here on Bengal Gyms.
Yep.
East side, west
side. We're coming together. We're coming together as Bengal fans. So yeah, it's fun. It's fun to watch it. The media, like Tom said, has been crazy. Not just bakeries. I think there was another bakery that was doing Bengal cannolis that I saw yesterday on Twitter as well. So it's a lot of fun. People are having fun with it right now. So let's change just a little bit here, guys. I don't know if everybody got this email. For your season ticket holder, Katie Blackburn sent this email out, and they also posted on their social media. So they're doing a basically show your stripes. So Friday, when you go to work or wherever you're at Friday, they want you to be in your orange and black garb, and they want you to post social media pictures and make sure you hashtag, show your stripes, rule the playoffs. So everybody's going to be wearing orange and black in Cincinnati. I kind of can't wait to see some of the social media postings on that. And it's really cool to see. I don't think that would have never been done back in the day, Tom. Those type of posts from the Bengals, pretty cool stuff.
I'll have my black on Friday.
Yep, no doubt, brother, no doubt. And then, Tom, we got on this date in Bengal history here for you, bud. We're going to put you on the spot. January 11th, 1968. Paul Brown hired who as his offensive line coach from the San Francisco 49ers?
Tiger Johnson, one of the most respected offensive line coaches in the NFL. Jumped over to be with Paul Brown in the AFL expansion Bengals, in large part out of respect for Paul Brown and to be able to coach on his staff, but also with a bit of a handshake agreement that when PB felt the time was right and would step down, that Tiger would step up and take over the team. And Paul Brown being a man of his word, that's exactly what happened in January 1st of 1976.
Yep. Good stuff. So another thing here real quick, guys, I don't know if we were kind of asking about the uniform combo. That's it, guys. This is it. We're going obviously black jersey, white pants, and orange socks Saturday. I kind of like it.
Sure.
There was a lot of talk on the internet about the orange jerseys. What is the stat? We're undefeated wearing those this year, but since that is considered an alternate jersey, that's not allowed by the NFL in the postseason. So that's how they came up with a combo that they did. And hey, we're going to look good in anything. We're going to win regardless of the color. And I think it's kind of fitting we're wearing black against the Raiders as we get this monkey off our back. But yeah, so there was all over social media, orange, we're undefeated, orange, blah, blah, blah. But unfortunately, NFL has the rules, and that wasn't permitted. So there's the combo that we're going to be sporting on Saturday.
Yeah.
Can we just say, how great would this be if we go to the Super Bowl and the year that you're fan of the year and you got tickets to the Super Bowl? The stars are aligning, Jimmy. I'm telling you,
brother. I'm just worried about Saturday only. I'm not thinking about anything beyond that.
Oh yeah, of course. Now you are. All year you've been saying Super Bowl. Now you're just focused on Saturday.
Laser focus. One game at a time. All those
100%. One play at a time.
Yeah,
one play at a time.
Exactly.
Do we know who the ruler of the jungle is going to be on Saturday? Have they announced?
They have not announced that yet. That has to come out here, I would think, no later than Thursday at the end of the day.
A lot of speculation, a lot of guess, an awful lot of suggestions. I haven't seen a bad suggestion, but
I'm thinking we got to go offensive line. I got to go with Dave Lapham. We got to keep this offensive line streak going, guys.
I think it should be you again, man. We're 1-0. I'm just saying. We beat the Chiefs. We beat the Chiefs when you were up there, so I'm
just happy I didn't fall off the stage, guys. That's all. That's all.
You were tethered. You couldn't.
A lot of people saying Boomer. Now, Boomer did not allude to anything when we talked to him about him coming down for ruler of the jungle. So we have no inside info.
Saturday.
I don't know. I think I might have heard Kay Adams might be in town, but I'm not sure 100%. So don't know. So I'm trying to think. We don't have to talk about this game this past week up in City up north, but I'm going to say one thing about Man, why did they want to build a stadium next to the lake up there? 25-mile-an-hour wind, cold as hell. I never have a good time up there ever.
How were your seats? How were your seats? Any problems?
Other than like 4 inches of sewage water, we had to clean up before we sat down.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. It was awful.
Hey, you and I have been to Cleveland together. Nothing's changed.
Yep, true story. True story.
Jennifer makes a good suggestion here. Jimmy and Robin Burrow, Rule of the Jungle. Put the
That
parents
would
up
be
there.
good. That would be good.
That'd be a cool one.
All righty, let's get into our
yes.
first guest. And again, you mentioned the power of social media earlier, Jamey, and what a good job the Bengals are doing thus far in 2021 with Katie and the rest of the digital media team. And our next guest, we found out about because of social media. He is the owner of Moeller Projection Light Show, and you've probably seen this on Twitter, maybe. Local Cincinnati stations have carried it. Let's bring him on, Mr. Keith Moeller.
Good evening, guys. How you guys doing?
Go on, Keith.
Hey, Keith, what's going on tonight, buddy? Who day?
I know it's a very busy night here in Cincinnati, so especially in front of my house tonight. So yeah,
You have like people like walking down the street. And
I do actually have people parked their cars out in the street, and I also have people get out of the cars walking their dogs, so they're staying like in front of the house too. So it's very cool atmosphere. I'm having fun with it. Because I do magic on the side. So during the COVID deal, I was looking into projection mapping, and that is what you see on the house right now. And it's a very long process because you have to actually take a projector outside, hook your computer up to it, and then trace out your whole entire house, windows, doors, lights, everything. So it took about 2.5 hours back in October. And it's about 35 degrees, I guess. And I was outside doing it that night. I had neighbors driving by, didn't know what the heck was going on at the time, thought it was crazy. And then sure enough, here we are in January, first of the year. I had already done a Christmas show, and I'm thinking, okay, let's hype this up. Bengals did good. They took the AFC. Let's do some Bengals now. So I was having fun with that. So it's been a great time.
So perfect timing here. And for those that haven't seen it, perhaps on social media, Jamey, can you pull up the video? I don't know if we're going to have the sound.
Give me 1 minute. I got another video I'm going to put up. So
okay.
Keep
while
chatting,
Jamey does that, Keith, the whole concept, you mentioned you were a magician. We'll go back to that. Right. But you kind of got the start or the idea from this concept by doing Christmas light shows, as you said. Is that correct?
Yeah, actually. So I first found out about it through when Blink Cincinnati was in town a few years ago, a little bit longer, I guess. And I was very amazed with it. I'm like, well, why can't I do it on my house? So here we are. And I started doing some digging, reading, and started figuring out how we can do this and make it work. And that's how it all came about. It was a good time.
And here we are. So Jamey says he's got the video here. So perfect. Jamey, let's let it play.
Here we go.
Let's pull up. If you're gonna talk that talk, then you better walk that walk. If you're gonna talk that talk, then you better walk that walk. Not a wannabes, only one of me. They try to put me under pressure, put me on the siege. Yeah, I'm a champ, I'm a legend, I'm a beast. Used to be the underdog, I got off the leash. I'm dog barking, I only bite. Drop the roof.
So you obviously have a good relationship with your neighbors, I'm assuming.
I do, yes. And actually, they've been very supportive because they've been trying to put it out on social media. So it's been great. So I've had the best neighbors ever. So I can't complain one bit about anybody here.
Is that Houday? Is that Houday in the window that I saw?
Yes, that's who you saw in the window. Yes. So yep. And part of that video, at the ending part of that video, when they showed Joe Burrow, the house actually becomes the jungle. So you see the whole vines and everything popping up. So yeah, it's cool just watching people's reactions when they see it the first time. So yeah.
And I guess to take it a step further, you heard the video here, and if you saw up on the house there, and let me pop this picture up.
There it is.
See the FM 97.9. So
yes,
if I'm correct, you pull up, you turn your radio in your car for, yes, radio still work in your car. You turn your FM dial to 97.9, and then the audio corresponds with what's playing on the garage there. Is that correct?
You got it. That's it. You don't even have to get out of your car. It's freezing cold. If it's snowing, if it's raining, you can just come by, enjoy it, sit out for about 12 minutes, watch the show, and it's just fun with it on the radio right there. Right.
That's cool. So you have an FM transmitter that's hooked up to that thing.
Yeah, actually, yes, the FM
cool.
transmitter inside the box that I had that projects it out, and actually the transmitter goes for about like a mile. And so you can hear it when you're pulling down the subdivision or pulling out of the subdivision. You can still hear it when you're outside the subdivision area. So it's great. It's fun.
So you said the part that projects on the garage is a 12 to 15 minute clip. What did you use to compose that 12 minutes of footage?
It's being done with After Effects, which is a program you can use to insert objects such as a tiger or the vines coming out of the house or coming down through the house. It's just it's pretty much like just cut and paste where you want things, and then basically you're pretty much time it out where you want everything at, like the music. With all the video clips that's in the video, I actually pieced together different clips that I saw on YouTube and then added music to it, took out music that I don't want in there, just so I could figure out the best way for it to kind of pump you up a little bit after we win the playoffs this Saturday.
So Keith, Troy Blackburn or Elizabeth Blackburn calls you tomorrow and says, "Hey, we want your ass down here at Paul Brown Stadium. We want this shit on the side of the stadium. You can do it."
Yeah, we're gonna try. We'll try.
No pressure.
Yeah. So right now I got Channel 9 just at the door right now. So they're actually here, just ringing the doorbell. So yeah, so it's great. It's
all right. Well, we won't keep you. We appreciate you coming on. This is by far one of the coolest things. A question for you: are you planning on coming to the game Saturday?
Well, I'm supposed to be going out of town, so I'll be out of town, but the projector will still be running all weekend. So yes, for sure, I will be there, but in spirit, I will be. So yeah.
Okay. And the one thing
Channel 9 can wait. Channel 9 can wait. Just I'm thinking, Keith, next year, Tailgate. You're a professional magician, right?
I am. Yes. TwistedByMagic.com. Yes.
We're going to talk. We got some ideas to throw by you.
Sounds good to me. Hey, I love this. Thank you guys for having me on here tonight. It's a great time for sure.
Well, awesome. We appreciate you doing it. Tell everybody at Channel 9 hello and Who Day, and we'll definitely be in touch.
Sounds good, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you, guys. Thanks, Keith. Appreciate it.
Who Day, Keith.
He's been blowing up on social media, man. Crazy.
Yeah, that is. I mean, that's impressive.
Cool house in the neighborhood.
Yeah, that is.
I
think we've seen those.
He bumped Channel 9 for Bengal Jim. I'm just saying. He didn't make us wait. He made Channel 9 wait.
That was perfect. So, going back to the duck race, we made you wait last week for it. We promised you it would happen this week, so we appreciate everyone's patience. As Jimmy said earlier, the duck race is sold out because of everyone's generosity. So again, while Jamey gets this queued up, everybody that donated online or at the tailgate, we manually entered those into the duck race proprietary duck race system. So your name is is in there, and then the name that we draw will be taking home the trifecta of Boomer signed helmet, Boomer jersey, and Boomer football. I don't know why.
I'm laughing at proprietary because there's a thing here to pay to join the premium. we're using the free version still. Anyway, so we got a full house. We got a full house here of names. We're going 1 minute.
Is it 100 names?
I think it's at 99. I think the free version only allows 100. So
just made it.
All right, Tom.
That's a lot of ducks.
All right, they're at the line.
Are you ready? 3, 2, 1, go.
And the Ohio River is not frozen. This is great.
No, it's chilly though. But we got green duck, purple duck, neon green duck. Look at that. You never want to be in the lead early. We've learned that.
No, you don't want to be in the lead.
We have got some ducks we have not seen before.
We got strawberry duck. I've never seen that one before.
Yeah, strawberry quick duck. like that. You got a bowler wearing duck. What is like that? They're coming down. They're moving a little slower again in the cold water these days. They're just now reaching the east end. Like that. Nobody.
A lot of people are
There's
cheering for
Batman
number
duck.
9.
That's really cool. There's COVID duck. Get that duck out of here.
Like we didn't ask, put your numbers in, see who wins here. I have number 11.
Like that. You got panda bear duck. You got
AJ Arnett, who just won our football
AJ,
league.
you don't want to be in the lead, buddy.
Six
You
like
don't want.
that. Past the boathouse.
Oh,
Here we go. It's going to be tight.
It's
on the outside.
99.
Holy crap! Number 9.
I don't know
Gretzky.
if we've ever had anybody win from the pole position up top.
The Wayne Gretzky duck comes in at the last minute.
Who is that?
Canadian
I
reference.
can't read that. Can you read that?
Caleb Pearson.
Caleb Pearson.
Caleb
So
Pearson.
Caleb, if
is
you're
our-
watching tonight, send us a message, and you are the winner of that Boomer Trifecta prize pack. And again, we appreciate everyone that's donated. We'll continue on Saturday at the tailgate and try to push that total over 5,000, and then our ultimate goal over 50,000 thus far this year. And I can't thank enough Tony and Carrie for all they've done. Caleb's donated items, Mark Sanders, everybody that's pitched in from, not only locally, but from afar. You've all been so generous, and we appreciate that so much.
Thanks, Joe.
Hey, this is riveting television.
Hey, put Keith back on. Channel 9's in there.
Oh, jeez.
Come on.
Oh, is it? Yeah, you know what? He is too. Look at that.
What's up, Keith? Is that Channel 9?
He's got us muted.
He doesn't know we're still.
He's got us muted.
So this is the first thing that you're going to see.
Looks
They got
like she's
important
holding him
stuff
hostage.
They've got important stuff there. We're going to let them do their thing. All right.
That could have been bad. I mean, you never know.
So Boomer,
no more bright ideas.
Interview this week.
Yeah. How about
So
you
real quick-
do that intro?
Yeah, real quick on the duck race, guys. I think James, you said it, $4,693. We'll continue that Saturday at the game this week at the tailgate here to push that over $5,000. But thanks everybody, we appreciate it so much, and I know Boomer's Foundation is very, very excited about it as well. So thank you. So we want to get into the Boomer video, right? We just want to go into it.
Let's do it. Remember, there was one short video glitch where it pauses. Probably about 10 minutes in. So just bear with it. It's just probably a 5-10 second glitch where it freezes temporarily, actually twice.
Yeah, there's a
Just
couple
your
small
computers.
glitches,
Yeah.
but I mean, it was we're holding our breath for a second, then it came back on. So it was a great way to spend our lunch hour. It was an awesome conversation, and
Yeah, Boomer got into. We walked Boomer from his first start in 1984. Talked about the '88 season, went early '90s when he got traded to the Jets. We talked about '97. We talked about the current Bengals. We only had him for about 20, 22 minutes, and man, he got into a lot of stuff. We couldn't hit everything, but man, let me tell you, he really got into some stuff. I'll be honest. I've heard a lot of stories over the years, guys. Tom, I know you have too. There were some things today that Boomer will share in this video that I had not heard before. And I thought it was very interesting stuff, very interesting conversation. So sit back, relax, and enjoy this 20-minute interview with Boomer. You'll love it.
we'll be back right after. Enjoy.
All right, guys, welcome Boomer Esiason to Talking Football with Bengal Jim and Friends. Welcome, Boomer. How you doing, buddy?
Hey, Bengal Jim, I am doing great. Thanks so much for having me on. I know you guys are excited. I'm excited, and I'm sure Bengal Nation is excited. It's great to have the Bengals back in the playoffs. It's great to be led by a great quarterback like Joe Burrow, and I'm excited to be on with you guys right on the cusp of what I believe will be their first win in 31 years in the playoffs.
Oh my gosh!
Fingers crossed.
We're definitely going to get into some conversation about our current Bengals, but we got a lot of stuff to squeeze in here. James, you want to go ahead and kick it off for us, buddy?
Yeah, Boomer, thank you so much for joining us. As much fun as we like to have tailgating, celebrating our Bengals, charities are a big aspect of what we do. Over $45,000 raised thus far for the 2021 season. Over $100 million raised by you for cystic fibrosis and your charity. If you would touch on the charity, how it started with Gunner and where you guys are at today with that.
Well, I'll be pretty quick about that. It all started back in 1993 when I got traded to the New York Jets. And oddly enough, Gunnar was still living in Cincinnati with Sydney and Cheryl. And Gunnar was diagnosed at Cincinnati Children's Hospital at the age of 2. So I was just about ready to go on the practice field for the Jets to take the first snap in minicamp. And I had to take my uniform off, rush back to the airport and get back to Cincinnati, went to Cincinnati Children's Hospital. And he was laying in a crib, and he had a lot of tubes in him, and he had an exacerbation in his lungs, and they told us he had cystic fibrosis. So since that time, Cincinnati was home base for us when I started this foundation. It's been actually close to $200 million now raised. And when Gunnar was diagnosed at the age of 2, the median age was 19. They told us they thought he would be able to go to college. Well, he goes to college, gets out of Boston College, and right around 21, 22 years of age, he was really sick and felt like he was at end-stage illness. And this is when a miracle happened. A drug came to market. Gunnar's life changed forever. It's not a cure, but it's close to it. And it dealt with all the different aspects of cystic fibrosis, which is a very intensive disease, and it affects multi-organs within the body, mainly the lungs. And lo and behold, Gunnar got on this drug, was one of the test tube babies, if you will, when it first came out. And it was so effective that they made a third iteration of it. This past June, he got married. And this past December, they had their first child. And we have I have a grandson, Casper. And so it's been really quite the ride, to be honest with you guys. And like I said, it all started back in Cincinnati, and all that money that we raised, most of it went into drug development. A lot of it now goes into helping cystic fibrosis people reach their end game, and that is to be as productive a person as they possibly can in society.
Wow, amazing!
And what an ending! And I saw that that Gunnar had his first child, your first grandchild. So congratulations on that, Boomer, and $200 million raised. Wow, that's impressive. So we're going to continue. We're hoping to reach over that 5,000 for our mark. We're going to continue it through the playoff game this weekend. And again, we enjoy giving back and proud to be associated with the Boomer Esiason Foundation. Jimmy, go ahead.
Yeah. So Boomer, I know you maybe heard about the show. We've had a ton of your former teammates on. We scour social media for videos of our guest. I found some good ones. Some I couldn't share, Boomer, but I got a good one here. 1984. Let's see if you remember this play in 1984 against the Oilers.
And when rookie quarterback Boomer Esiason scored a third-period touchdown, the Oilers fell by the wayside 13-3. In his
Bruce Coslet and Sam Weish coming up with that, and they said, go back and look like you're going to hand it off. Just wait a second. Don't hurry it, and there'll be a wide open hole for you. And we had a great offensive coaching staff, and I'll never forget that because that was my first rushing touchdown, my first touchdown in the NFL, and it really was a memorable moment for me. Unfortunately, my rookie year, I didn't play all that well, but I did start 4 games, and that was one of the better memories.
Yeah, that's funny. It's just, for everybody that's watching right now, viewing, Boomer Esiason and Joe Burrow have something in common. Their first touchdowns were rushing touchdowns in the NFL, I think.
That's true.
Yep. Well, his was a little longer than mine, though. Let's be honest.
Good stuff.
I only had to go 1 yard. I think he won something like 40 yards or something like that. Yeah. So, and by the way, when I did talk to Joe this past August, of course, he had to show me that play. He was so proud of it. So, and I don't blame him. I would have been proud of it too.
Tom, go ahead, buddy.
Boomer, as that decade went on, that special 1988 season, there's so many stories about it. And coming off that difficult 1987 season, so many things changed. And one of the things that listening and talking to a lot of your teammates from that era that evolved and may have helped you was it may not have always been the gentlest of times, but in the meeting rooms at Spinney Field, Sam Weish and Bruce Coslet would devise the game plan. You had some input, and from some of those not so polite discussions, though, came an ingenious system, the no huddle, and an offense that you threw over everybody, and James Brooks and Ickey Woods ran through everybody. What are your fondest memories of that journey to the Super Bowl that year?
Well, first of all, coming off of that horrific 87 season, because, our 85 and 86 teams were really good teams. And the '86 team just missed the playoffs, just barely. We were 10-6 that year. I remember on a Monday night waiting to see whether or not the Dolphins and the Patriots, and whether or not the Patriots could beat the Dolphins or whatever. And it didn't work out for us, so we didn't get a break. And so coming back in '87, we were loaded, man. I thought we were ready to take off, and then unfortunately, we lose the home game to the 49ers, and then we go on strike as players. And that really tore apart our team and our season. And there was so much negativity around all of that. That's what made 1988 so special. And I'll never forget that Sam Weiss at the beginning of the '88 season said, guys, let's just try to get together. Let's just try to come together as a team. Let's all pull in the same direction. What are they going to do? Fire me? I mean, and he kind of made a joke like that. And we all said, yeah, maybe. But we ended up, I think, winning our first 5 or 6 games that year. And the more you win, the more you all of a sudden get this confidence about you that every time you step on the field, you expect to win. And we had this unbelievable rookie, Ickey Woods, that had just a knack for understanding the blocking scheme and just had a real intuition about how to run. And then in the middle of all that, we put our heavy play action passing to one of our games saying, okay, he would draw a play up on the board. And he said, now describe this play to me.
Jamie, we can't hear you.
Yeah, I think we froze up.
Forget it. Never mind. Oh. I don't want to know what that's all about. So, I just think that the memories of that team were, it was an unselfish team. It was a defense that was opportunistic, that got a lot of turnovers. And it really, our offense, when we were clicking offensively, throwing the ball down the field, it reminded me a lot of this year's Bengals team, because we had a round, going down the field, making catches, Eric Caddis, Jim Riggs at tight end, and maybe the biggest offensive line in the NFL. So we had everything that this team has. I just think that this team has a little bit more speed than we did, and they may have a better quarterback than we did.
James, you want to take the next one?
Yeah, you touched on this earlier when talking about the foundation, Boomer. Obviously grew up in New York, a Long Island native. What were your thoughts following the '92 season and headed back to New York to play for the Jets?
Well, it really started in '91 because they fired Sam after the '91 season, and we still don't know whether or not he was fired or he resigned. I guess it all depends on who you talk to. If you talk to the Brown family, he resigned. If you talk to Sam before he died, he would have told you he was fired. So I don't necessarily know that we really know what happened, but I do remember it was Christmas Eve, I believe, when Sam ultimately left the Bengals. And I remember calling Mike Brown that night and saying, look, Mike, if Sam's not going to be here, I don't want to start over. I mean, I don't know who you're going to hire as coach, but I just want to move on. And if you wouldn't mind trading me, you'd be doing me a huge favor. And Mike told me that night, he goes, Boomer, it's very unlikely that I'm going to trade you because I'm going to need a starting quarterback and I'm going to need somebody hopefully to run an offense. I said, I just don't want to learn a new offense. And Bruce Coslet had left. He became the Jets head coach, and things had started to kind of deteriorate around the team. Plan B had taken over. We didn't replace a lot of the players we lost. I wasn't playing great. And then they named David Shula as the head coach. And David was on our staff. He was the offensive wide receiver coach. And he basically said, look, Boomer, you can call the plays in the '92 season if you want, and you can handle everything from the field. So I think it was the first 3 or 4 games that year. I was calling all the offensive plays, all the formations, all the personnel groups. We lost a really tough game in Green Bay. That was Brett Favre's first appearance as a Green Bay Packer. He came back and beat us late in that game after Don Mikowski got hurt. And then I think our next game was at home against the Minnesota Vikings, and I threw 4 interceptions at home. Gunnar had been born the year before, and Gunnar was struggling at this time. We didn't know that he had CF, but all we knew that he was struggling. And I'll never forget getting into the car after that Minnesota Viking game and throwing 4 interceptions and being booed in our stadium, that I looked at my wife, Cheryl, and I said, look, man, I think it's time to retire. Because Gunnar came to the game that day. And I can't have him hearing that with me playing the way I'm playing. Maybe it would be better that we end up going somewhere else. And I remember going in and talking to Mike Brown about these things, and he was like, just hang in there, just hang in there. We've been through this before. You'll be okay. They also drafted David Klingler that year. So I knew eventually he was going to have to get on the field. And I knew that they wanted to try to win early on in the season, and that's one of the reasons why I played. But when David Klingler finally took over, that's when I realized I knew that my time in Cincinnati had come to an end. And David started against the Pittsburgh Steelers. I think he was sacked 11 times that game. And I remember walking off the field and just thinking, thank God that wasn't me, because I don't think I would have made it through the game. So, when they finally eventually traded me to the Jets, Mike and Pete Brown both called me. I was in my office in Northern Kentucky. They were on speakerphone, and they were really emotional about it. They really were not happy that I wanted to leave. They weren't happy that they were trading me. They had fond memories of me, even though I had a strike year and we had a couple bad years there after the Super Bowl. But, I mean, they really respected me and liked me as a player and as a person. I liked them as they always took care of me. They always paid me well. It was just always a little bit of this, but that's what made it fun. And that's what made the 80s and the jungle, if you will, Cincinnati's Riverfront Stadium, so much fun for all of us. So when I was traded, finally, it was a dream come true, because I was going home to New York and I was going to Bruce Coslett, my ex-offensive coordinator in Cincinnati, who was my head coach. And I don't regret any of that. It's just one of those things that happens in sports.
Yep. So we're going to skip over that whole New York, your time in New York.
Good.
We're going back to the rebirth of Boomer. Tom, you want to hit on the rebirth of Boomer in '97?
Boomer in 1997, you had a meeting with Mike Brown, I believe, at his Spinney Field offices. And from that, you were able to come back. Now, Jeff Blake was a starter. Jeff had been to a Pro Bowl and, had come in, given the city some excitement. But after the first game against the Cardinals that year, he struggled. And he was, a little bit, Bruce Coslett had brought him here. He was Bruce's guy. But as the season wore on, and I can remember listening to you and Chris Collinsworth were doing your radio show at the time, and you were in absolute anguish and frustration, knowing what you could do for the team. Finally, the opportunity arose, and you were in. And I know from my standpoint and watching you all those years, of course, this is very late in your career, though. I never saw you as comfortable in the pocket, playing so smoothly. It was almost as if the defenses magically slowed down for you that last month and a half. But, until, really the middle of the Marvin era, that month and a half was the only bright spot of the 90s. I mean, you could do no wrong, and you did it without the Bengals' top receiver and Carl Pickens.
And before you answer that, Boomer, if you don't mind,
Yeah.
let's, Jamey, can you play that video, please?
Boomer Esiason starting today for Cincinnati at home at Synergy Field. And right away, the Boomer of him looks like the Boomer of old to Brian Milne for 12 yards.
Yeah, and look at him get rid of the football on time, step up in the pocket, all the things you expect from a veteran like Boomer Esiason.
There's the quick drop to Tony McGee, and then that sets up Kajana Carter with the lead block, 1 yard touchdown, 7-0 Bengals, 5 of 6 on the opening drive for Norman Boomer Esiason.
Yeah, well, I remember that year extremely fondly. It was a weird year. Jeff Blake and I were teammates in New York with the Jets. That's how Bruce Coslett knew Jeff. And that's when Bruce got fired and Jeff ultimately got cut from the Jets. Bruce told the Bengals to pick him up off the waiver wire, I believe. And then Jeff, of course, I believe replaced David Klingler. And then he and Carl Pickens had the Shake and Blake thing going on in Cincinnati. And he would throw the moon balls. And I remember watching them from when I was playing with the Jets. So when I came back to the Bengals, it was after a year in Arizona. And I remember there were two teams that wanted me as a backup quarterback. One was Mike Holmgren and the Green Bay Packers. And I had visited Mike Holmgren up in Green Bay, and he wanted me to sign the contract sitting at his desk and to go out and work with the quarterbacks out at their practice facility. And I said, wait a minute, I got to go see Cincinnati. I got to go talk to Mike Brown and Bruce Coslett, because they are, thinking about maybe bringing me back. And I think they just really want to talk to me about, what the situation would be. And when I got back to Cincinnati, it just felt like home. And Bruce and I went out to dinner, and Mike and I talked, and I understood my role there. My role was to be a support person for Jeff Blake, much like Jeff was for me back in New York. And I understood the whole thing. I was an older quarterback, and they wanted to stick with a young, hot player. And certainly I got that and I understood that. So I decided coming back to Cincinnati was going to be great. And it wasn't until Jeff got hurt against the Indianapolis Colts that I got a chance to go in there. And when I remember going into that game, we had a lot of really good young players. We had a really good offensive line. We had tremendous running backs in Corey Dillon, Kajana Carter, Eric Bieniemy, Brian Milne was our fullback. We had Marco Battaglia and I'm trying to think who there was. We had another tight end that was really good. I forget Williams, I think it was. We had wide receivers that were really good. I mean, it wasn't just Carl Pickens. It was Darnay Scott. It was David Dunn. It was James Hunden. I mean, we had a really good young team, and all they needed was just a little direction and a little piece of love in the offense, because it was so dominated by Carl and Jeff that some of those guys felt like bit parts. So when Carl got hurt, now all of a sudden everybody else got a chance to touch the ball. And then Corey Dillon exploded on the scene. And I remember telling Corey before he really took over, and I was still the backup, I would work with Corey after practice. I said, Corey, you can run with the best of them. What you have to learn is your pass protection, because every young quarterback or every young running back really struggles in pass protection. And Corey was big and strong enough to be able to do that. And he had a great mentor in Eric Bieniemy. People forget that. Eric Bieniemy was right in the middle of all this. He was already coaching while he was playing. So I was fortunate enough to be the older guy, now surrounded by all of this youth, all this speed, all of this just pent up frustration that they hadn't been able to touch the ball that much. And boy, did we take off. And I was kind of like a ringleader, and that's one of the reasons why I look so comfortable. And I knew the plays that Kenny Anderson was going to call. Kenny was our offensive coordinator. And like he and I, because we think like quarterbacks, of course, I knew what he wanted every time he was sending in a different personnel group. And so what I did is I tried to speed up the whole thing. And the interesting thing about all of this, Paul Alexander was our offensive line coach. He hated me in practice because in 9-on-7 drills, I told the guys, look, we're going to get through this drill in about 3 minutes. They have 15 minutes set aside for it. We're going to get through it in 3 minutes. I'm going on first sound. Get your asses up to the line of scrimmage. Put your hand on the ground and let's go. And Alexander, the coach, would be screaming at me, stop, you got to go slow. They got to get it. They got to be able to make their calls. I'm like, if they don't know their calls by now, they're never going to freaking know their calls. And then Dick LeBeau, our defensive coordinator, would fight with me in practice because I was running the scout team. And in practice, I would tell the guys, get the play off the sheet. We're going right to the line of scrimmage and we're snapping the ball. And Dick LeBeau started screaming at me, you're going too fast. You're going too fast. I said, well, you think they're going to slow down for you on Sunday? You think the other team's going to slow down? I don't think so. So I was just trying to speed everything up. And the interesting thing is when I finally got back on the field, I did the same thing. And Derek Brills was our center. He goes, boom, just please let me make sure my hand is on the ball before you ask for it. And I just up-tempoed everything. It wasn't like a no-huddle offense. It was a huddle to the line and snap the ball and let's go. And let's not give the defense a chance to really get set. And we had that Thursday night game against Tennessee, and Jeff Fisher was their coach. And after that game was over, he came to me in the middle of the field. He goes, what was that? What were you doing all day? Because it wasn't the no huddle. I said, nope. I just said, no, I was just playing with a little tempo. That's all. And that was the night that I think Corey ran for like 260 yards. So that pace that we played with was one of the reasons why that offense was so good. And I'll never forget when I said to Bruce Coslett and Paul Alexander that I was going into the TV booth. Paul Alexander finally apologized to me and said, Boomer, that tempo thing, that was perfect. That was great. And it kept everybody on their toes, but it kept everybody involved. And it's one of the reasons why we were so good offensively.
Interesting. Boomer, thanks for your time today, buddy. I know we have one more thing we have to talk. We have to talk about our today's Cincinnati Bengals. And Boomer, I'm telling you, man, I was in the city in 81 and 88 when the Bengals went to the Super Bowl. We got the same feel right now. The atmosphere, the fans, the city, everything's going crazy here. Just give us your take on the team right now.
Well, Bengal Jim, I should say, 2 years ago when Joe Burrow was coming out of LSU and the Bengals were lucky enough or poor enough to have the first overall draft pick, he came on our set at the NFL Today. And much like when Carson Palmer came on our set way back when, and I knew he was going to be the first pick, I handed him a Bengals helmet. And I said, welcome to our dysfunctional family. Now go fix it. And Carson almost had it fixed. I mean, he was very good. He was a great player for that matter, but he ended up getting tired and wanted to leave, whatever. But now here comes Joe Burrow, a kid from Athens, Ohio, who's got what I like to call He's got a little bit of red ass in him. And what that means, it's a compliment, believe it or not. He is supremely confident about who he is as a player, how he is seen by his teammates. He leads by example. He fought through his rehab. He's the absolute perfect personality. When I found out that he was an all-state point guard in the state of Ohio, I knew that this kid is a great athlete, and you can see it. And he's just got a calmness about him that very few quarterbacks in this league have. Now, you're going to see Derek Carr this week. He's a great quarterback in his own right and has had to deal with a lot of adversity this year. And he's one of my favorite players in the league, but he plays with his hair on fire. He likes to hop around all over the place, and he overthrows some guys every now and again. That's not Joe. Joe's completely opposite. Joe's a much more poised and compact player. And I just think that this team is a lot of fun to watch. I expect them to win on Saturday. And you know what? The AFC is wide open, guys. It is wide open. This team has every right to believe that it can get to the next level. The one thing I worry about with them is just being overhyped for this game. They're a young team. They've had a number of games at home where they've been overhyped and they've gotten off the bad starts and it's turned into bad losses. But when you take a look at the teams that they've beat, the way that they have played here the last 3 out of 4 weeks, I don't count last week, man, they are on pace to be one of the best offenses this league has ever seen. So I think it's going to be a great game. I think it's going to be an exciting game. And I think, they should come away with a win. And I'm telling you, like I said, the AFC is wide open because there's not a great defense in the AFC.
So I think that leads to our last question, Boomer. What would a win for this Cincinnati Bengals team do for the franchise, the players, the city? Like, what's this going to be like if we win this game on Saturday?
Well, you know what? Finally, there's expectations. Expectations are back in Cincinnati. And believe you me, I've been sitting next to Coach Cowher for 15 years. And, they have expectations in Pittsburgh. And I think now they're going to find out what it's like trying to find that Hall of Fame caliber quarterback. I'm not saying that Joe's going to make it to the Hall of Fame, but he definitely is that kind of caliber quarterback, much like Justin Herbert is out for the Los Angeles Chargers. So I think this is hopefully a sign of things to come that are going to be great for this franchise over the next 10 years. All of us who played there, have been waiting for this for years and years and years and years and years. And I just hope the team expects to win, that they're not shocked when they step on the field, that it kind of like makes them lose, some of their focus that is going to be required to win. But, Joe Burrow has played in big games his entire life, and I would think he will be a steady hand at the bow of the ship. And I think I wouldn't be surprised if they take him all the way to the Super Bowl. I really wouldn't.
Wow, guys! I people that are watching right now, if you're able to put some comments in here, I want to just kind of recap that interview, guys. There were some things in there. I thought between me and Tom and Jamey and James, we knew everything about Bengals football history here. But Tom, maybe you knew this, but I had no idea the Green Bay Packers had him up there in Green Bay. And he wanted to come to Cincinnati to talk to Mike Brown and Bruce Coslett. I thought that was an interesting thing in 1997, and he almost went to Green Bay.
Yeah, I never knew that. The story that I remember was it was actually a story. I believe Jeff Hobson was still with the Inquirer, and somehow part of the reason the Bengals probably hired him is Jeff always knew what was going on at Spinney Field. And when Boomer came for his visit and was walking up the steps to go to Mike Brown's office, Jeff was there. But I never remember any mention of him almost going to Green Bay. They were just coming off of a Super Bowl the year prior. So it would have been interesting how he could have helped him, but it worked out because he would never have seen the field in Green Bay. And he had some of his best days as a pro that last half of the season here in Cincinnati.
I can't keep up with it. This chat's like a cam girls chat, man. I can't keep up with it. It's just scrolling through. So
cam girl? What's a cam girl?
Whatever. Look it up.
The Canadian
James, don't look it up.
Don't look it up.
So what else stuck out to you guys on anybody? Whoever's watching right now, still watching. We got a ton of people in here. Type in some of the things that stuck out to you guys. What about you guys on the screen right now? I think,
and this isn't football related at all, but it goes back to the charity work. When Boomer got the treatment for Gunner, as he said, it was kind of like a test tube. It was nothing was developed yet. This was really at the forefront of medicine, and donations and people supporting these charities, is huge. We're all hoping that day we find the cure for cancer. Well, that's being funded by people's donations, scientists, research, all that. And, for Gunnar to come full circle, not only A, to survive, but B, to come back and have a kid and a grandkid for Boomer, that was huge. So, the charity work that we do, as I said, is it's important. We have fun on Sundays and Tuesday nights and things like that. But that's I don't know if there's any more proof in the pudding of what your donations do for a lot of these great charities that we work with.
Right. So,
Jamey, you got any?
Dude, the comments are just crazy. I can't even keep up.
So there is a comment on here I think I missed. It's talking about Tom's suit. You got to put that up.
Someone said, everyone's been commenting about Tom's suit the whole time the interview was going on. So there's a lot.
We need to get done. I have a fashion podcast. I do.
Hey, Tom, so let's leave it up there. So tell everybody what you do for a living, brother.
I'm a funeral director. I'm a fourth generation funeral director here in Cincinnati. My family's got a funeral home. Didn't know as a child I was going to do it. My dream, I played sports, but knew I wasn't going to be good enough to ever play anything permanently. My dream job, actually, Dan Hort has. I wanted to be the voice of the Bengals, and had started college. My dad passed away, and followed him into to the family business. So no, my family has Thomas Justin Funeral Homes here in Cincinnati.
It's interesting talking about another clip from the show, Jimmy. Craig popped it up, and you just had it there. Was Eric Bieniemy talk, and Eric Bieniemy was somebody that was mentioned as a head coaching candidate here. He seems like he's a perennial head coaching candidate throughout the NFL and every year, and something Boomer alluded to there while he was playing. He had that coaching instinct, had that coaching demeanor, and was mentoring some of the other running backs on the team. So it'll be interesting to see if this is the year that finally Eric, sleeping with Bieniemy, as Chris Berman likes to allude him to, gets that head coaching job. But it's funny how you hear these stories and see what's actually happening today, and it all comes full circle.
Yeah, it is really funny. Not funny, I guess. It's the former players still have love and passion, no matter what they say on TV or radio. You could tell it's obvious when we were talking to Boomer before we started recording and during the show, the questions you were asking. This guy is forever tied to the Cincinnati Bengals, and he loves the city and he loves the team. And he wants them to succeed. And I just love seeing that come out in these interviews, these discussions we have with these guys that have been around for a while, man. I think it's really neat to see.
Yeah. So many stories that we've never heard before have come out on here. And we have a lot of first-time viewers here tonight. So if you want to go back and watch any of the shows, they're all archived on YouTube. You can go to the Bengal Jim and Friends YouTube channel. What show are we on now? Jimmy, do you know the number?
I think this is 79, isn't it?
Yeah,
this is 79.
We're getting close to the 100th episode, and we've got some big plans coming up here. But the other thing, too, that I think is interesting, guys, the last quarterback to win a playoff game here in Cincinnati, Ohio, was Boomer Esiason, right, Tom?
That was it. Boomer and the butt kicking of the then Houston Oilers, a team that doesn't even exist anymore, technically. We had several almost, I think, in 05. If, that legal hit of Carson Palmer's knee not taking place by chemo on Olhoffen, where he was down on the ground for 2 steps and drove his shoulder pad into Carson's knee. If that doesn't happen, I think the Bengals would have won that game. I think they were the better team, and I think they were on their way. And, of course, I was talking to somebody after we did the show this afternoon, was talking about, the January 2016 loss to the Steelers and, how much that hurt us as fans. And I don't think really appreciated it. It's really only now that the franchise might be starting to put that in the rearview mirror, how much that not only hurt us as fans, but hurt the entire franchise. But they're moving forward. Like you said, there's a lot of character, a lot of great players, a lot of great talent, and great guys. And it's great to see how the city's behind them. And it'll all come to fruition, hopefully come together Saturday night.
Yeah. Well, guys, let's go ahead and close this out. We're right out of time. We really appreciate everybody being part of this tonight. A lot of big stuff planned for the show here. Move forward, guys. We hope you enjoyed this evening. We had a lot of fun from start to finish here. This 60 minutes went pretty quick, guys. And I know there was a lot of things we didn't get to with Boomer. We had a very tight time frame. Boomer, we've been talking to Boomer for the last 2 or 3 weeks trying to get him on, and his schedule is absolutely chaotic, guys. So he really carved out some time.
Especially in the playoffs.
Yeah, he carved out some time for us today, and we wanted to talk about Hall of Fame. We wanted to talk about Willie Anderson. We wanted to talk about Ken Anderson with him. Very big proponent of Willie and Kenny getting into the Hall of Fame. We couldn't hit everything in that 20-minute time frame we had with him, but we appreciate Boomer taking time with us and
get him back on.
Yeah, let's do it again. Another 20 minutes next week. Hell, let's do it. But let's go ahead and close this out. I guess we'll start. Let's start bottom left-hand corner on my screen. Time to go ahead and get us kicked off, closing it out.
No problem. You had the 2-minute warning. So, but no, like I said, it's going to be, I think, a great day for Cincinnati sports history Saturday. I hope everybody coming is going to be loud, dress warm. Try and get there a little early. I think with the crowd, as everybody scans through, they've had a little bit of a bottleneck problem a couple weeks ago. Wasn't quite as bad against the Chiefs, but it's been big game after big game after big game every week. I think as fans, we're ready. I know the city is definitely ready, and by the sounds of it, the guys are ready. They sound confident. Sounds like practice is going well. The guys that need to heal are healing, and everybody's going to be 100%. So we need to be 100% and loud in the stands. So hopefully it's going to be a great day and a great day to fondly remember. Jamey?
Thanks, Tom. I'm excited. I can't wait for the game. It's going to be, it sucks I'm watching it from home and not there with you guys, but that's just the way it's going to be. Fortunate I'm able to watch the game. I don't know about you guys. I have obviously friends who are fans of other teams. And the one chirp I've been hearing forever about the Bengals, and I can't wait for this meme to die, is the last time the Bengals won a playoff game was before someone sent a text message or something. They said, have you seen the meme? No one's ever texted somebody because the first text was sent in 92. Well, we're going to win a playoff game, and it's going to be in the metaverse. This is going to be a new meme going out now. We're going to win a playoff game with the metaverse thing now. Cell phones, text messages are old news. We're going to win it in the metaverse era.
With a cam girl or without a cam girl?
Jimmy doesn't know what the metaverse is. I'll explain it to him after, but we're gonna win it in the metaverse.
We're learning all kinds of terms tonight because of you, Jamey.
So it's great. My last show, guys. See you.
Oh gosh! As the fans have done all year, let's pack Paul Brown Stadium. Let's be loud. This is the time. We got people coming in from all over. A lot of you have chimed in tonight. So from New York to the West Coast and everywhere in between. Excited for it. If you're in town, stop by the tailgate. We'd love to have you. Dell will have the 16 lots. Kenny Anderson day drinking beers flow in. We'll have the Bengal bombs courtesy of Beer Fest Craig. We'll have awesome music. We'll have good food. The more the merrier. Come on down, southeast corner of Lottie. A quick congratulations to AJ as champion of our Bengal Gym Fantasy Football League. We've got to present him with the jersey. We'll have him on. Just a lot going on this week. AJ, congratulations. Your time will come. Boomer just barely beat you out to have you on tonight. So we apologize for that. But another great guest. As we've said, these stories are unbelievable stuff that's never been told before. It's never been documented on the internet. So again, all those are archived. Check them out and stop by Saturday, say hi, and then let's make that jungle as loud as we can. Jimmy?
Yeah, and to tie into that, I don't know if this is true. As this was going on, I literally just text Seth Tanner. He just responded. So hold on, see what he's saying here. On Twitter, he did. On Twitter. Okay.
So for those that don't know, Jimmy, who's Seth Tanner?
Seth works for the Bengals. So they've got the if the crowd gets above 120 decibels pre-snap, I'm going to get a tattoo of bingo. Haven't been over 105 since Green Bay. So I don't know what this character is, but can anybody see that? What is
There we
bingo?
go. That looks like
Jamey?
some kind of. It looks like an NFT, probably sold for $1 million.
Okay. So we have got to put this on Seth. He is going to get a tattoo if they go over 105 decibels. DBS.
120.
Let me see that again, Jim.
120.
He says it's called a tattoo of bingo. So I am totally
Let's
out
see
of
that.
touch. If you're watching right now, can you tell us what the hell this even is?
Looks like Vontez Burfict is Pro Bowl.
Actually, it looks like Antonio Brown after Vontez Burfict hit him. So,
Oh gosh.
His farewell
too,
walk.
too soon.
All right, guys. No, we appreciate. We have had some. What is it, Jim? It's a Canadian term, I'm assuming, right?
Hey.
Continue,
I guess
Jimmy.
we're going to talk about this after the show's over. Want to thank everybody for viewing tonight. The tailgate 12:30 kickoff, 12:30. The lot opens. We'll be going. We'll have everything set up, ready to go at the tailgate at 12:30. Dress warm. We're going to have a fire pit or two down there for you as well.
Be loud.
And we're going to have plenty of food and beer from 16 Lots, Beer Fest Craig, and everybody's going to be down there. We're going to have a great Saturday. And stay tuned on social media. I'm trying to lock up something post-game after the victory, hopefully, and we will have some events going on Friday after the game as well. But it's this show, guys, when we started the draft of 2020, I think, right? Was it 2020?
Yeah. The draft of Joe Burrow. It all started with Joe Burrow.
It all started with that draft. We had no idea what the hell we were doing. We did that draft show that night. We had almost 2,000 live viewers that night alone.
Crazy night.
And the 50, 67, whatever it is now, former players we've had on from, everybody. Chris Collinsworth, Ken Anderson, Anthony Munoz, Pete Johnson. Tonight, Boomer Esiason. We've had on Jack Thompson, Gary Burley. We have had on Reggie Williams.
JB.
James Brooks. We've had Jeff Blake. It's just crazy that this thing has grown the way it has. And I'll tell you, it's because of you guys watching. We have fun doing this. We're just fans just like you. We don't know what the hell we're doing. We just got this program. Thank God Jamey can do some of this shit because we're out here having fun. And it's been a really fun year for all of us. And it's not over with this year.
Hey, a lot of people are saying we need to get Chad Johnson on. You guys, listen. You guys watch this show. He is probably the most active Bengals alumni on Twitter. Tweet him at the show. Let's get him on here. You guys tell him he needs to come on Bengal Jim and Friends and tag us. Let's see if we can get him on here. Yeah. Especially after a playoff win. Can you imagine?
I'll be very firm with that, guys. I have tried my ass off with Chad. So again, some help, like Jamey said, probably does help us, man. If we keep tagging Ocho on these things. But
if I have to play him in a game of FIFA, I'll do it. Whatever we need to do to get him on here, let's do it.
No,
I agree, Mike. That's a top 5. It's a top 5, Mike.
Yeah, Crackman was a hit for sure.
We've moved past FIFA. Bengal fans play Uno now.
Yeah. Perfect. Well, guys, we will see you Saturday at the tailgate, next Tuesday on the show. But here's to a great day in Cincinnati, Saturday down at Paul Brown Stadium. And let's get down there and help and support our team, be as loud and proud as we could possibly get. Get down there. But whatever you got to do, figure out a way to get into PBS and make as much noise as you can. Let's help our guys out. Let's get over that 105 decibels so Seth gets that tattoo, guys. So we love you. Thanks again, everybody. We'll see you next week. And let's get this thing Saturday. Who day, guys?
Beat Vegas.
Beat Vegas. Let's go.